Now, Leroy Sané, because worked with Mateta at Man City. We've been linked to a lot of wingers, Bakayoko, Nico Williams. You've been talking about getting someone to improve the left side, someone to back up Saka, someone to give Saka competition. Hasn't had the best of seasons with Bayern Munich in Germany. Is on the bench during the Euros. Could it end up being someone like a Sane back in the Premier League, surprise signing, as a winger? Never really signed a player like that. And would you be happy if someone like a Sane came to Arsenal as the first signing?
Now, Leroy Sané has that relationship with Mikel Arteta, and it makes the situation very, very interesting. I think many Arsenal fans wanted him last summer. This summer, I'm not very sure about him. He has had a mixed Euros where much of the performances have not really been good, and I don't think that is actually helping his, marketable part of his game. Now, do I see him as a realistic option between Vats and Musiala? 100%. I would say Kimmich is very realistic because Arsenal need a player desperately in that position. But Sane is very realistic because Arsenal need a player in that position, a winger, someone who has experience more than Saka. So that means that when we go in onto a big UEFA Champions League stage, and Saka maybe has kind of lost himself into the pressure, we can take him off and bring on a player like Sane. He's been there, he's done with Man City, he's won trophies with Man City, and he has worked with the manager. Mikel Arteta wants players and loves players that he has actually worked with, previously. So it's one that I can see open. And also, in terms of not gathering a lot of media attention, I think it would pick up media attention later on after Bayern signing Olise, rather than prior to the situation, because prior to the situation, they didn't know who the manager was. They were rejected by 256.9 million managers, this summer. So they didn't know who the manager was. They were trying to get their hands on a new manager. Who are we going to bring in? So many of the players there, and their future was really undecided. They're trying to find out, if the manager is Vicente Kompany, does he really want to work with Leroy Sané and Serge Gnabry? So I think they have an overload of wingers first and foremost, but the new manager coming in, that defines the future of many players. And the first thing he has done, he's brought in he's brought in Michael Olise. What does that tell you? That he wants to build his own dynasty, he wants to build his own Bayern team. He's not believing in all this Serge Gnabry, Sane reunion with Bayern. He's not believing in all that. He's saying, I want my own team. So, and then think about Bayern's overload in winger areas. They have Coman, they have Sane, they have now Olise, they have Serge Gnabry in there. Musiala can play there as well, and they have an interest in Florian Wirtz. At some point in time, if no club abroad picks him up, they will pick him up. So I think Sane is an interesting one because his future comes under more scrutiny after the signing of Olise rather than before. So there's a big possibility that Arsenal thought probably is going to stay there. Probably they didn't see Bayern go for Michael Olise for 60 million, giving him 220,000 a week. Now they need to lessen their wage budget, burden, but they also need to they need to offload some players. So maybe Arsenal have looked at it in a way, this is a player that we can go and get. It's kind of those deals where, Alexis Sanchez moves to Arsenal. Why? Because Wenger looks into that Barcelona team and is like, Alexis, you're not going to play football. You're destroying your career. You're not going to play football in this Barca side. Come and be the star man in this Arsenal team. And then Alexis ends up at Arsenal. So that is, I can see it in that kind of regard. Yes, I believe that Leroy Sané, in terms of the profile that Arsenal have been trying to sign, might have not been on Arsenal's radar initially. You look at the players we're linked with in winger areas. Bakayoko, 21-22. Nico Williams, 21-22 years of age. Who else are we linked with? All these players are very, very young.
The Girona one, several players,
the Girona one. All these players are very, very young. So when you think about their age bracket, Leroy Sané is the odd man out. So there's a big possibility that he joined the list a little bit later. So it's a massive shout with Leroy Sané. Now, would I be happy if Arsenal signed him? I have doubts about him. I really do have doubts about him. His pace, I don't have a problem with that. Decision making, scary. his decision making, I have a problem with it these days. Like, it's not the Sane at Man City, could score bangers, could score benders, could score all different kind of goals. But we have been told that Mikel Arteta is a major reason as to why Sane and Sterling worked was shining at Man City. So probably he thinks he can revive his career like he always does.
Now, those are the 3-4 players that everyone has talked about online. But me and Cozy have our own, our own minds and our own analysis on these players. We watch Germany a lot as well. We are going to break down which players we think could be the secret player. Now, let's start this all over again. Now, Arsenal are linked to a secret player from the Bundesliga, but who could it be? So let me and Cozy break it down. Now, I'll ask you